Today I'm going to be working on some jack-o'-lantern gourds. I do this outside because it does become pretty messy, as you'll be able to see. I use a Pro Carver 2 to carve into the gourd you see on the bottom left. This is how I actually decide where my circle on the top is that I'm going to be cutting into. That green thing is just a canning funnel, but it works pretty good for what I'm doing. You're going to want to make sure you got a good N95 mask, not one of those cloth masks. You'll see once this gourd's open, there's a lot of gourd dust in there, and that Carver brings up all of that dust, and there's mold in that dust, so you want to be really careful when you're cutting into gourds. I've got a filigree tip on here, and I'm cutting into the gourd, but I'm not trying to get it all in one pass. I'm just going a little ways, and then you'll see me. I'll go back over that and go a little deeper. After a while, this really gets hot if you're trying to push it too far, and you'll really mess up your tip on there. We're going to speed things up while I get through the top of this gourd. I'm not really that worried about this cut, like making it straight, nice and straight and even. I can go in and sand it down if I want. I actually prefer not to sand it down. I want these jack-o'-lantern gourds to look nice and rustic. See all that smoke and debris coming out there? I'm pushing that tip way too far down in there. I'm getting it too hot. I'll try to make sure I put down as many of the tools as I possibly can and links to where to get them in the description. Now the big reveal, what's in the gourd? Each of them are a little bit different. This one had some stuff in there that was pretty hard to get out. And then the next one, I kind of show you the seeds and some of the debris that's all dried up in there. I call these gourd balls. This is what I clean all that debris out with. They're just balls that have texture like sandpaper on them. You put them on your drill, they just spin around and they help clean out that gourd. It's so much better than trying to scrape that out by hand. This one's actually too long for the job that I'm doing here. I end up switching it to a smaller one later. These long ones are made for really tall gourds, so you can get it down in there into the bottom. It's turning around pretty fast. You want to really hold on to your gourd. I don't know how many times I've had a gourd that I don't have held tight enough just fly out of my hand. Once it hits the concrete, it's going to crack. It's done. We'll speed things up here for your viewing pleasure. The next thing we do here is blow out all the dust in there. I just use the computer compressed air. Just do it a few times and all that just flies out. This is just good old flat black spray paint. Now for the drawing of the jack-o'-lantern face. I already got a little bit on there and I didn't like what I did. I've got some baby wipes, and that's what I'm erasing my pencil marks with. I've tried eraser on these gourds, and I just find that the baby wipes work so much better. I freehand all of my drawing of my gourd faces and a lot of the other things that I do on gourds. Sometimes I'll use tracing paper if it's something that's really intricate or something that I want to get real precise. But like I said earlier, I want these jack-o'-lantern gourds to look rustic. Here you can see me measuring from the nose to the eye, so I have the eyes on both sides of the face about the same distance from the nose. Now I'm measuring the top of that mouth and where it compares that to the eye. That way I can get the other side in about the same area. I'm going to be using my razertip single SK wood burner, and I've got a couple of different tips that I'll be using tonight. This one here is a heavy duty fixed tip pen. It's really nice to make those nice straight lines burn in. Well, you see here I am doing this inside the house. I do have a mask on, and I actually have a smoke eater sitting right next to me, grabbing that smoke. This will make your house smell pretty good if you like the smell of campfire, though. Make sure you have something underneath your gourd, something that's non-skid. That way your gourd's not moving all over the place on you accidentally. With this fixed tip pen, I'm just going around my edges, my pencil lines, and then I'll fill it in with another tip. This contraption here is the tip cleaner. There gets to be a lot of buildup on it, and it's got like two little razor blades that are in a V shape, and I can just take that tip and scrape it off of there. Otherwise, I can actually get some of the gourd burning there, because you can see it lighten up. That's because it's got too much debris on it that's starting to catch on fire. Now that I got my outline done, I'm going to be doing shading. I've got a spearhead shading tip on there I'm showing you, and it makes pretty quick work of shading it, and it's nice and flat. You can get into the corners really good with that tip. This same tip is really good in these nice tight areas as well. Now for some color. This is just alcohol ink, and the color of it is sunset orange. After I get it on there, I'll be taking a heat gun and going over it, and that sets it in so it doesn't move all over the place and get on my gloves and leave prints in it. I'll often do 2 coats of this, setting it in between. Here's my completed jack-o'-lantern with some candy in it. You could put potpourri in it if you would like to. What did you think about this gourd video? Did you like it? Can you give me a thumbs up and subscribe? If you're local, come to one of these galleries and check out all of my art.